guys, it's Miss Engel. This is the video for the next art project for 4th and 5th grade. 3rd graders, you have another video. Check it out on It's Learning. It's not this one. So we are going to be doing symmetrical name designs, and if you don't know what that is, go check out the Google slides because I went over all of that. But you do need a piece of loose paper, so you'd have to tear it out of a notebook if it's in a notebook, a pair of scissors, a pencil, something to outline with, and your coloring materials. All right? So the first thing you need to do is we are going to fold the corner down like this, okay? I don't know if you can see that, but fold it down so that this edge matches up. So I folded it, and then if you notice, the corner of my paper came to a nice point, so it's not wonky, okay? And it's completely even with that edge. Now we're going to take our pencil and trace along this edge, and we're going to cut this piece off, that extra rectangle, because we just want a square piece of paper for this project. Alright, so I traced it. I'm going to unfold it. I'm going to unfold it first. There's my line, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut that out. If you don't have scissors, you can also fold along that line and tear it very, very gently, because you don't want to tear the rest of your paper. You just want to get rid of that little rectangle on the end. So now it's just a square piece of paper. There's my first fold, and now I'm going to fold it this way now, still lining up my corners and my edges. So now you should have a square piece of paper with 4 sections, all right? So what you're going to do is pick one of your sections. It doesn't matter which one, just pick a section, and we are going to write our names to fill up this whole triangle, all right? And I made another video on different fonts, so like bubble letters, black letters, and you can go watch that if you need help, if you want to make a special kind of letter. Otherwise, you can just write your name like normal. So for example, this is the 3rd grade example, but here I wrote my name like normal, or I did it in block letters for this one, okay? So it works either way, and you want to try to fill up the whole space. And another thing to think about is this would be the middle of my triangle, right here, that middle point. And since my name has 6 letters in it, I can divide my name in half for 3 letters on each side. So I could start the first 3 letters to end here, and then the second 3 letters would be on this side so that it's nice and evenly spaced. You don't have to do that, but if you want it to be even, that would be a smart idea. Alright, so I drew my first 3 letters, and again, I'm doing it in black letters because I want to. You don't have to, you can write it like normal. Just make sure it's big and it fills up the whole space. So now I'm going to do the rest of my name in this half. Alright, so there's my name. And if you'll notice, I wrote nice and dark. So if you wrote really light, go ahead and darken all of your lines. Make sure they're nice and dark with your pencil lead. Because what we're about to do is we're about to fold this over and trace over our name so that it transfers. And so you need enough pencil lead on the paper so that it transfers onto your other spaces. So once it's darkened, you are going to fold it so that your name is on the inside. So I don't know if you can see through my paper, but there it is on the inside. So this is the outside of my paper. And I am just going to trace over my letters. And try to bear down pretty hard so that you get enough contact with the pencil lead on the other side so that it transfers. And also, make sure you are tracing exactly over your original lines, because otherwise there's nothing to transfer. It's not going to work. So try to be really exact. So I've traced 3 of my letters, and if I open it up, you can see it's starting to transfer onto this next piece, right? So I'm going to fold it back, and I'm going to keep tracing. All right, so I finished tracing. I'm gonna open it back up. There's my original name where I wrote it the first time, and that is where it just transferred, okay? So now we are going to fold it the other way, all right? So my name is right there, the original one that I drew, and I'm gonna trace over again on the outside, just trace over it again, but this time it will transfer onto this spot, which is empty. So just, you're going over those lines again, just to transfer onto that third part of your paper. And remember, make sure to bear down pretty hard so that it gets enough pencil lead on the transferred part. So I'm retracing. If you'll notice, these are a little bit darker than these because I haven't gotten to that part yet. And it is starting to transfer. So I still have 2 letters left. But so now this was my original name. This is where we transferred it the first time. And then this is what I'm doing right now. So I finished tracing the second time. So now I've got my original and my 2 copies. Now to transfer on this side, we are going to have to darken one of these so that it can reach this side. So pick one to trace over on the inside to darken up like we did with this one. So this was my original name, this was the first copy, this was the second copy, and I just traced back over it with my pencil, okay? So now what we can do is we can fold it back in so that your darkened name is touching the empty space, okay? And then we're gonna do just like we did with this, we're gonna trace over it. So if you look close, you can see my name through the paper. And when we trace it, it's going to transfer onto this blank spot. So I just traced my second one on the outside. So now I've got my original, the one I traced over, and then my 2 copies. Now if you look closely, it is missing some pieces where it didn't quite transfer. So I'm going to take my pencil and fill those in so that they match my other 2 sides. So now I've finished tracing the lighter side, so now it's all pretty much the same, okay? All about the same darkness, and now it's this really weird pattern thing, but it's still my name, see? So yours should look something like this, but with your own name, and remember, it didn't have to be block letters, you could have done regular letters, and that's fine. So now we're gonna move on to the coloring part. So if you did block letters or bubble letters or some kind of font with space in each letter, you're gonna outline all of your pencil marks with a black marker, and then we can color. Otherwise, if you did your name like regular, so ignore all this, but if you did your name like this, like in regular letters, you're not gonna outline with black, okay? Because in the lesson we learned about warm and cool colors. If you don't know what that is, go look at the Google slides. So instead of outlining in black, you are gonna outline with either a warm or a cool color. So I'm gonna show you on the 3rd grade example. So remember, warm colors are reds, oranges, and yellows, and cool colors are greens, blues, or purples, all right? So for our name, we're gonna do one set, either warm or cool, and then the background is gonna be the opposite. So for those of you who did regular letters, you're gonna outline in either a warm or cool. So in my example for 3rd grade, I outlined in cool colors with a blue marker and then purple and green crayon. And then the background I did in warm colors. So I did variations of orange. For block letters or bubble letters, you outline with your black crayon or marker like you normally would. And then the same thing, either warm or cool on the inside and then the opposite on the outside. So with this one, I did warm colors on the inside, so reds, oranges, and yellows. And then the background, I did cool colors, greens, blues, and purples. Okay? So either way, warm or cool, just make sure it's opposite. So one for your name and then the opposite for the background. I'm gonna color mine and put a picture of it at the end of this video so you can see what that looks like. And then good job, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you had fun with the project.